Hello YouTube, Mr. Valhalla here, and I'm going to cover the topic of how to make paganism more well known in society. How to, for instance, make its growth pick up the pace, if you know what I mean. The fastest growing religion in this world right now is Islam, and perhaps Wicca as well, but not as fast as Islam. Because what Islam has apparently is more of a solid dogma that gets them going faster and more um, efficiently. That's the word I could use. There you go. But anyway, paganism, however, is not about dogma. It's about how you feel personally. It's about your spiritual journey, not everyone else's. It's about what you feel is right for your own path. That's kind of how polytheism works. If you just have one God, you have one way, one lesson, one teaching. Maybe not just one lesson, but one book, one set of rules, one expectation overall. And paganism is a bit more complicated than that. We don't have a book that tells us what to do because it's just not how our gods work. They're here to be teachers. They're here to be guardians. And we, as humans, are here to connect ourselves to them and to honor our ancestors with our actions and to recognize our connection with nature, to connect with it spiritually. Sure, we can examine nature scientifically, but the main purpose spiritually is to connect, to recognize the patterns in nature, and to further discover who we are as spiritual beings, not just as crude matter, who we are within, who we are flesh and blood, and beneath all of that, our essence, our spirit. And that's what paganism teaches. It teaches you, it kind of has many elements that are seen in Buddhism and Taoism and all those Eastern religions, but many people tend to not notice that. It's kind of like the Japanese belief of Shinto. Very ancestral, very cultural practices within Japan. And Norse paganism is basically kind of like the Scandinavian Shinto. We pay homage and respect to the land spirits, not only the gods and goddesses, but these land spirits that live within every tree, every blade of grass, that exist all around us within different parallel dimensions. And I mean, you've got some pagans out there who see the gods as just archetypes or just symbols, when that's not paganism. What's the point of worshiping gods that you don't believe in? See, the whole practice of paganism is to honor these entities as real entities, to yourself, to your spiritual path, your own spiritual path. You could worship and pay homage to the gods that your friends do, which for instance could be, Odin and Thor and Freya, but what you experience, what you see for yourself is what's true to you. When you have spiritual experiences per se, or UPG. I could make a video about that later on if any of you were interested. But UPG is basically your spiritual experiences that occur, things that you can't explain scientifically, things that kind of just happen and explain your world spiritually. Like, For instance, when someone believes that a god or a goddess is speaking to them, or a spirit, that's UPG. I don't know the definition of the, what's the word? Abbreviation. I don't know the abbreviation to UPG, but basically it's one's spiritual experience. But, back to the main point. In order to spread the word or make it more well known in society, is to just live and not be afraid to tell people who you are. Don't be afraid to study it openly. Don't be afraid to talk about it when people ask. Don't be afraid to defend yourself and how you feel. Don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. Doesn't that sound familiar? But anyway, the whole reason why many mainstream religions have so many followers and such a bigger say is because not only because their voices are louder, but the reason why their voices are louder is because they have more people. And the reason why they have more people is because you have so many people who are devoted. You need to be devoted. You need to recognize your path. You need to be true. I'm not saying, um, sacrifice your life, just to make a point. I'm saying give in an effort. Don't talk the talk without walking the walk. You gotta walk the walk. You gotta show the world that we're awakening. We're recognizing our heritage. We're becoming pagans again. And those of you who wish to do that, and those of you who are doing that, tell people. Tell people who are willing to listen. Don't shove it onto people. Don't force it on anyone. That is not what being a pagan is all about. It's about awakening spiritually and realizing who you are ancestrally and spiritually. It's plain and simple. You just don't force it on others. Just be there and be confident in yourself. Wear your Mjolnirs, wear your pendants, wear your arm rings like the one I have right now. Show off your tattoo if you have one. Let people know who you are, and don't be afraid to tell them. Because what's the point if you're afraid of being who you are? You need to take pride in yourself. You need to take pride in your heritage, and no matter where you come from. And if you're a pagan, you have to take pride in who you worship. You have to take pride in your views spiritually. You need to recognize where you stand and how important you are to yourself and how important your values and beliefs are. Wake up. Not everybody has to be pagan, but those who are willing to be pagan have to commit. They need to be devoted. They need to wake up. They need to realize their potential. They need to realize that they need to be strong. They need to take pride in who they are and who they're becoming. I guess that's enough said. Stay tuned for future videos, and hopefully I will have those guest speakers soon. Timing has been rough, so eventually we'll make it happen. Hail the gods, and hail to all of you. Thank you for watching.